There was said to be a book, written by a mad poet, that is supposed to contain a most darkened evil. This book has gained quite an occult following in the 1300 years it is said to exist. Al-Azif, the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon. Today at the Miskatonic University, we will be discussing the Necronomicon, a book dreamt about by a turn-of-the-century author known as Howard Phillips Lovecraft. Lovecraft dreamt of many cosmic horrors and in turn wrote stories and novels based on these dreams, all of which are widely considered to be fiction. However, here at Miskatonic, we have reason to believe that Lovecraft's dreams were visions of ancient, dark, and esoteric rites, rituals, events, and beasts, lost and forgotten by time. One of the many items shown to Lovecraft in his visions was the Necronomicon, a book written by a mysterious Yemeni poet from the 8th century named Abdul al-Hazred. Al-Hazred was known for being an eccentric night dweller who was recorded to have traveled widely, from spending 10 years in the empty quarter of the Middle East, where he was taught about alchemy and necromancy by unknown sources, to traveling through Egypt and learning the ways of the dark mages, to finding his way through to ancient Europe and learning the ways of the Druids. Al-Hazred wrote every detail of his learnings in a journal. This journal was his life's work, and he kept it with him always. It is said upon his mysterious death in Damascus at a bazaar where in broad daylight he was torn apart by an unknown and unseen entity. His journal and other effects were taken by Rahaz al-Nahas, a figure even more mysterious than Al-Hazred himself. There aren't many references to Nahas in historical texts, but it is said that he named the journal Al-Azif, translated from ancient Arabic to mean that nocturnal sound supposed to be the howling of demons. It is at this point in history that the book has been found, translated, burnt, and lost many times over the centuries. But copies and fragments continue to find their way back into the mainstream. In 950 AD, Theodorus Philetus, a Greek philosopher and historian, translated Al-Azif into Greek and renamed it the Necronomicon. In 1050 AD, the Patriarch Michael of Constantinople burnt as many copies as he could, describing the contents as pure evil. A copy was later found and translated to Latin by Welsh scholar Olaus Wormius, but most of his copies were destroyed in 1228 AD by Pope Gregory IX. In the 15th century, multiple Latin copies by unknown authors were put into circulation, and by the 16th century, alchemist and black mage John Dee translated a fragmented version into English. And again, out of the 17th century, more Latin copies from unknown sources find their way to the mainstream. There are many modern forgeries and fakes made to fool the general public that have been published and copied, but as of today there are only 5 authentic copies of the Necronomicon that exist. The British History Museum in London holds a copy of John Dee's fragmented work. The Bibliotheca Nationale in France holds a Latin copy from unknown sources. Harvard, Cambridge, and Massachusetts holds another unknown-sourced copy. The University of Buenos Aires in Argentina holds another Latin copy. But of course, we here at the Miskatonic University in Arkham hold the only copy in its original Arabic. The thanks to our Antiquities Research and Investigation Wing. The copy here at Miskatonic is separated into 5 books. The first is the Epic of Gilgamesh, but it contains details, locations, and beings not in any other copy of the epic. The second book is Kitab al-Buhan, a book of spells, rituals, and an encyclopedia on supernatural and interdimensional beings. The third is the Picatrix, a book of magic and how one operates oneself through magical practices. The fourth is the Shams al-Marith, a book on demons, demonology, as well as angels and angelic practices. The fifth and last book is the Voynich Manuscript, a mysterious manuscript depicting plants, animals, beings, and constellations of distant and unknown galaxies. We here at Miskatonic are very protective of this copy of work, as it is the oldest known copy of the Necronomicon to exist today, and we have a specialized team working on unraveling its ancient secrets. In time, we will understand the esoteric secrets and hidden knowledge that the Necronomicon has concealed for millennia.